My name is Alex and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be going over 8 reasons why your self haircuts are shit. So the first reason why your self haircuts are shit is because you're using outdated or cheap clippers. Right here, I've got a $10 Remington clipper that I bought from TJ Maxx. It is honestly the worst clipper I've ever used in my entire life. $10, super cheap. The motor is extremely slow. The blades are extremely dull. You need very sharp blades to cut your hair, and these definitely don't cut it at $10. In order to give yourself a good haircut, you need more guards than what this one offers. This right here is my Wall Super Taper 2 clippers. They cost me right around $80. These are professional clippers. They have an extremely strong motor. The blades are extremely sharp, and they come with all of the necessary guards that you need to fade your hair. Make sure your minimum budget, if you are planning on buying clippers, is $30. Anything over $30 should be decent to start you off with a good clipper. But if you want to spend more money, obviously the more money you spend, the better quality you're going to get with your clippers. The second reason why your self haircuts are absolute is because you are rushing the process. Cutting your own hair can be very, very difficult, but if you understand the concepts on how cutting hair works, you guys can do a very good job. I know for a fact so many of you guys are grabbing your clippers, whatever you have, beard trimmers, jumping into your bathroom, and then within 10 minutes you mess up and then you're done. Most likely because you rush your haircut. If you're brand new to cutting your own hair and you don't know what you're doing, cutting your hair can be a very intimidating task. That's why whenever I talk to any of you guys on Instagram or in the YouTube comments, I always recommend you guys stay as patient as possible. Put aside about 1 to 3 hours of time and really take your time running the clippers up your head and really trying to figure out how to maneuver your body and your arms while looking through those 2 mirrors. So the big takeaways with this point is to really take your time when cutting your hair. There is no rush. You shouldn't be in a rush to cut your hair, and you really want to get this right. So take your time and do it right the first time so you don't have to mess up and then have to walk around with a bad haircut. You guys see this thing right here? This is the 3" by 3" handheld mirror that I used for so many years cutting my own hair. It was definitely one of the biggest mistakes I ever made when I first decided to start cutting my own hair. I'm gonna assume many of you guys watching are beginners and have never cut your own hair before, so just think about it. If you're sitting here stabilizing this handheld mirror, the amount of times you're gonna have to shake it and angle it perfectly so you can see exactly what you want to see through that mirror, and then run your clippers through your head with no hair cutting experience at all, it's going to be very, very challenging. So throw away this possibility for human error and just keep the one thing that's going to be difficult. And instead of using the handheld mirror, go to Walmart, go to Target, buy this $7 mirror. It's about 1 foot by 4 feet tall, and it's honestly a game changer when it comes to cutting your own hair. Please throw away your handheld mirrors. You can't use them for self haircuts and expect to get good results. The only way you're going to give yourself a good haircut is by freeing up one of your hands and then just using the clippers in your other hand and really focusing in on what you're doing with just one task instead of having to multitask holding that handheld mirror. The fourth reason why your self haircuts are is because you don't understand how far to take your clippers up your head. I'm sure by now so many of you guys have seen on YouTube barbers having to fix up DIY haircuts from earlier this year during lockdown. So many people tried to cut their own hair and completely messed it up. And one of the big things that I noticed within these videos is that all of the people dug way too high into the top of their head instead of giving themselves a part line right at the parietal ridge on both sides of their head. Usually when you buy a pair of clippers, they always come with a pair of duck clips. The first thing you guys should do before you grab your clippers and cut your hair is to grab a comb and section off the top portion of your head to the sides and back. So if you guys want to avoid cutting too high into your head, grab your comb, figure out your part line, find the parietal ridge on both sides of your head, grab your comb, pinpoint it like this. My hair already has a very distinct part line, so then I just grab my duck clip like this and slide it in like this, and then now the sides of my head and the top portion of my head is completely sectioned off right at the parietal ridge. So now if I grab my clippers, I know exactly where I'm gonna stop as I'm cutting up my head. And so the fifth reason why your haircuts are is because you're not spreading out the blend enough and going up roughly 1 inch for each new guideline that you're putting up your head. If you guys really want to give yourself a blurry, clean self haircut, you have to spread out each guideline at least 1 inch. For so many years, I cut my own hair, spreading out my guidelines only about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, and it was one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. It was only up until this year that I started to spread out my fades about 1 inch for each new guideline, and then I really started to see the fade really become blurry and everything was transitioning so smoothly. So what you want to see is a nice gradient from the lighter portion of your head all the way up to the darker portions of your head by going up about 1 inch for each new guideline. And what you don't want to do is have that white portion of your head gradually go up to the dark portion like this, and then everything is going to be very compressed because you only went up about 1/2 an inch. The sixth reason why your self haircuts are is because your lighting is not good. It's very obvious that if you can't see what you're doing, you're not going to be able to give yourself a good haircut. So if you've got those old halogen yellow lights, they're not very bright, you're not going to be able to see the fine details on the sides and back of your head when you're fading your hair. In order to avoid this, you want to go to your local Home Depot or Lowe's, whatever it may be, buy yourself some white LED light bulbs. They're very bright lights and they really show all of the detail on your head when you're cutting your own hair. Seeing all of the details are extremely important because you don't want to jump into the shower after thinking you're done with your haircut, jump out, look at yourself in the mirror, and then finally see all of those hard lines that you missed because the lighting was not good in the bathroom or the room where you cut your hair. So do yourself the favor, go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy yourself some white LED light bulbs. The seventh reason why your self haircuts are is because you're not using the 1/2 guard and the 1.5 guard to fade your hair. Using the 1/2 guard and the 1.5 guard are extremely critical to fading your hair because the 1/2 guard usually gets rid of the first hard line and the 1.5 guard will get rid of the second hard line going up the sides and back of your head. Now of course this does depend on how you set in your initial guidelines, but usually if you're going up with the no guard lever open and then afterwards with the 1 guard lever open, you're most likely going to need the 1/2 guard lever closed and then the 1.5 guard lever closed as well. And I'm pretty sure the 1/2 guard and the 1.5 guard don't come with your clippers. I may be wrong, but if they don't, make sure you do buy them. I bought this 1.5 guard and the 1/2 guard for roughly $2 each online. So if you guys don't have them with your clippers, make sure you just go online and purchase both of these guards for roughly $2 each because they are absolutely a necessity when it comes to fading in your hair and getting rid of those hard lines. So the eighth and final reason why your haircuts are is because you don't understand how to work the lever on your clippers. So if you don't have a lever on your clippers, it's not a big deal. I do have videos on my YouTube channel showing you how to cut your hair without a lever. But if you do have a lever on your clippers, it's really going to be so much better when it comes to fading in your hair. What I found to be the best when giving myself self haircuts is to always keep the lever open whenever I'm putting on a new guard and giving myself a new guideline going up my head. So then once I put in all of these guidelines with the lever open and the new guard that I use, I then close the lever and go back to the previous step, which was use that 1/2 guard and then the 1.5 guard, all with the lever closed. So I'll use the 1/2 guard lever closed to knock out that first hard line and then the 1.5 guard to knock out that second hard line, all using a flick out motion. If you guys did like this video and you found the information helpful, make sure you leave a like and share this video with a friend who you think would benefit from these tips. And if you are new to my channel, make sure you click on the subscribe button down below and click on the post notifications as well to never miss a new video. And if you guys are interested in learning how to cut your own hair and give yourself awesome haircuts every 2 weeks and save yourself a lot of money every year on haircuts, check out my self-haircut course using the first link at the top of the description. And if you guys want to help contribute to my YouTube channel, you can pick up some of my brand new merch or join my brand new Patreon community using the first links at the top of the description as well. I hope you guys enjoyed these tips. Thank you so much for watching, but I'll catch you next time. Peace!